It's the Kink Consultant podcast, where we're turning up the heat on all things kink and dating, relationships, and pop culture. So close the door, plug in your headphones, and let's get down to it. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Kink Consultant, and I am here with Larah Sky, my first repeat guest on the podcast. So welcome back, Lara.
Well, hello. Glad to be here again.
We need to get into what our original conversation was. Last time you were on, we went in depth about chastity, and I swear to God, you must have nearly killed me after, because after that episode, I got so many questions about chastity. I was like, go ask Lara, go ask Lara.
And I'd be like, I'm not answering you for free.
That's totally fair.
Don't ask
next time I'll say, go pay Lara.
You know what it is? I just get stressed because I get so many messages. And I always feel bad when I see a genuine one, because there are a few that are genuinely, hey, like, where do you want me to go, or what do you want me to do? And I know that they're not a time waster, but also there's so many time wasters that I just can't.
Well, I also get fearful answering questions on social media. So if you want to find Lara, and if you are not watching the recording of this, you can find Lara at larahsky.vip.
.co.uk.com. I've got them all, you know? I was like, gotta just buy them. There was a bundle deal, so.
Smart. So that's LARAHSKY. From there, you can find all of Lara's sites. You're on OnlyFans?
OnlyFans, Loyal Fans, Fansly, as like clip sites. I stream on different sites. I have clip stores. I have everything.
Sometimes I think about putting some of my less filtered clips on OnlyFans. Not that it's for the same reason, but I'm just like for being discovered and teaching about kink. Well, not probably more Loyal Fans than OnlyFans, but like I am so sick of being censored by the social media apps.
Oh, so many. I find YouTube surprisingly very chill.
Are you doing well on YouTube?
I've not uploaded in a while, because I've got a lot of other stuff on. So I do my paid sites first, and then I do extra time on socials, but I do decently well. Like, I'm monetized on most videos. Sometimes I put one out and I'm like, this is gonna get demonetized, you know? The J for JOI stayed up for a week and a half monetized before it got age restricted, and it wasn't age restricted by me talking about jerking off, it wasn't edging, it was because I was like, next week's K for knife play, and apparently that's too far, and I said have a perverted day at the end, and that was too far. Not the jerking off talk for 10 minutes.
You are literally always ahead of like what's allowed and what's not allowed. And that's actually how we connected. I reached out to you, and I talked about this last time because I was like, help, they're being mean to me. And you're like, fight it. Always fight it.
Yeah,
and now you kind of like push all the boundaries to figure out where the boundary is.
You know what it is? It's educational. So as long as it's educational, because we were talking about gooning, so I could literally do a YouTube video about gooning, and I could be like, this is what gooning is. But as long as I'm not telling you to goon for me, you know, as long as I'm not like jerk off, if I'm just like edging is this, you know, like this is how you masturbate. Like, if I did an educational video, I could probably get away with that. And you can always 18 plus restrict it, and then they just let anything go.
Then it can't be monetized, right? On YouTube?
Not really, but then you get money from other people who watch it.
I'm not on YouTube at all, though. I need to be. I think the podcast goes up to YouTube, but it's not like, I'm not putting educational content up there. Although I should just go long form, talk about what I want to talk about, and then post it, because I am sick of being restricted. And sort of, it's only getting worse here in the States. I don't know what it's like over in Europe.
Here, they're bringing out an online safety bill, so it's meant to protect children, but that's debatable because it only really affects people in the UK. So if your company's not in the UK, you don't need to abide by it. You know those like really strange sites that pop up and they try and like scam you for credit card details and stuff? If you're one of them, they're not gonna care. They're just gonna be like, whatever. So the idea is that everyone has to be verified. I think it's in the US already. You have to verify maybe like every hour or 2 hours if you're using a porn site. But yeah.
Oh, I don't know if it's every hour or 2 hours, but certain states. It's not in every state. And the UK is going to do that as well?
I don't know how often it's going to be, but it will be like every time you access the site, you have to do like a Face ID.
That's terrible.
I know. And it's like for my personal site, I'm pretty much okay because I've not really got much on it, but I'm probably going to have to take like all photos off. Anything that's got like a photo of like a cage, I'll have to take off and then put behind like a members only area. But then you've got to verify they're 18 plus. So I'll probably just move that totally to other platforms that I like, whatever.
Wow.
No more fun.
I know, no more fun. Also, a shit ton more work for you.
Yeah, like I'm not doing the age verification.
Fair. Okay.
Did I go for horny chastity last time? Or did I just say I was going to talk about it and not?
We kind of just touched on what chastity was, your eternal belief that all men should be caged, which men seem to love this message. I expected people to be very annoyed and angry and up in arms, but everyone's like, the general consensus is yes, all men should be caged.
Yeah, it's Cosmo's like fetish of the year.
I saw
only
that.
find this out, but I'm like, finally, all the hard work.
Yeah, I mean, you've just been laying the groundwork, teaching all the men.
I feel like I need to contact them and be like, excuse me.
I know. You should actually contact them and be like, hello, I'm the source of all information on chastity. Do you ever have women reach out to you to ask for advice, or is it always men?
Sometimes, but very rarely, or they'll buy their partner like a custom video, but I always assume that it's the guy buying it for himself, unless I've seen them.
Yeah, that's fair. You're assuming they're playing into this fantasy that their wife is buying this for them to humiliate them or shame them.
It's not always to shame them, but sometimes their fantasies are a bit wild, and I'm like, you're just embarrassed.
When did you discover you were kinky?
I went to a fetish party probably when I was like nearly 19 or just turned 19, like 18, 19. I had worked in a bar where there were like weird things going on, but I'd never actually been to an event.
Were you in a fetish bar?
No, people just rented it.
Oh,
it was literally just like kind of like nightlife bar, and then there would be people would come in and they would rent it for a night, and you'd be like bartending, but they'd be kind of like going back and forward, but into like the spare room, but you knew something was like going on.
Yes.
So yeah, like the first one I ever went to was definitely like 18, 19. There was just a lot going on. There was like spanking benches. There were people walking around as like I don't know if caterpillar is the right name for it, like tied together, like roping people together to walk around a room. Was
this at the height of the Human Caterpillar movie?
It might have
Human
been.
Centipede or what was that movie called?
Human Centipede, maybe? They were like roping people together, and they were like, how tied up do you want to be? We're gonna do like a big like...
This is a Human Centipede inspired kink. I am convinced of it.
Yeah. And I remember there was like this sissy, well obviously I didn't know there were a sissy at that point, but there was like this sissy all dressed up with like the wig and the hair and everything, like smoking outside, and they were like, don't worry hon, I've got you.
Oh, that's actually quite sweet.
But yeah, but I was always a sadist. I was always like bratty. I always got attention.
Prior to this, so you're 14, 15, 16. Sadistic tendencies?
You're like psychoanalyzing me.
No, because a lot of the doms I worked with at the dungeon, same story. Like they would like, I don't know, staple people and stuff for fun, consensually.
But I think when I was kind of like getting to like late teens and stuff, I kind of realized that I enjoyed fucking with men because they would be so obsessed with me. And I used to enjoy making them annoyed. And
it was the power play that
and then when I got into dom work, it was I really liked men crying. Like I used to get off on their tears, so that's why I'm like, it's more sadism than dominance, and dominance is a way to facilitate the sadism.
What kind of things were you doing to get them to cry?
Oh, to be fair, just like spanking and like electrocuting their balls.
Yeah. Oh, to be fair, it was like so boring. I'd spank them and then I would electrocute their balls and then they would cry. Yeah. No, that's actually
sometimes
a quick.
I'd call them a loser, you know, or sometimes I would just be like, bye.
Oh, that one I could see making people cry.
But yeah, the amount of guys that I used to have just obsessed with me, like trying to talk to me for hours and hours and hours. And I'd be in a nightclub and they'd be like following me around.
When did you realize you could monetize this? Like bottle it and just sell it to the masses?
So you know how promoters do things at like big cities? So you'll basically get like free dinners, free drinks, free club entry, free limousines, like free holidays, you know? Like, basically everything's free, and all you have to do is be hot and fun and good at talking and show up. Like, you don't even need to be fun. You just need to show up. All you have to do is show up and dance a little bit and you get everything. So probably around then I realized just how mental things were and like how much money people drop on, you know, like table service and whatever. So if you're like a multimillionaire, what's 100K? You're like, it's a birthday. Yeah, it's like us spending like maybe a couple thousand and being like, okay, like for a birthday, you know, like.
But if you're a multimillionaire, it's also kind of like buying a big lunch for everyone and that's it.
Yeah.
It's like the money is non-comparable. Okay, no, that's a good comparison that I'd never really thought of, because in New York that happened all the time. You would just be like text on a group. Even I was on these chains of like, hey, do you want to show up to this restaurant tonight? I need 10 girls.
Turn up and you get dinner.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you're just out and they're like, hey, we'll comp your bill if you go and stand in that corner. And you're like, okay.
I can do that. Yeah, I can enjoy the music. And there are some benefits to being a woman. And that is one of them, because men were not on these lists. All right, Kinkster, let's talk about pleasure. Not just mine, yours too. If you're enjoying this episode of the Kink Consultant, I need you to do me a little favor, and I promise it'll feel oh so good. Take a second and give this podcast a 5-star rating. Just imagine your finger sliding all over that 5th star, pressing down, giving it exactly the kind of attention it deserves. Yeah, that's it. And you know what happens when you do? I get all hot and bothered knowing you're out there, showing your appreciation. Plus, every time you leave a review, a naughty little brat somewhere gets that spanking they've been begging for. So be a good listener and tap that star, won't you? Thanks, love. Now let's get back to the fun.
I remember getting stopped at the airport once and they were like, how do you afford to like travel so much? And I was like, I'm pretty. Probably the wrong answer.
No.
I could have got detained, but I was like, I just don't really pay for anything while I'm here.
Have you ever done the Dubai travel circuit?
I've never. No. I don't know how I feel. I once got asked to go to like Saudi by like one of the government advisors. It's a very strange story, but I met them in London at a bar and they were just chilling. And then we ended up like just meeting up with them for like lunch every day for like a couple weeks. And they used to just give us lunch every day. We go to all these nice restaurants. It was actually really lovely. It was like,
that sounds lovely. I'm like, take me there. Yeah. That's enough.
Yeah, they were like, if you want to ever come over, like, we'll give you a hotel. Like, it wasn't even, I'm sure they would have expected something, but it was just like, if you want to come over, come over. We'll get you a flight, like.
See, it's the nebulous sort of like, oh, just do this. I can't handle that. Like, I need to understand what the terms and conditions are of it. Because, like, sometimes there's free lunch, but is there free dinner in a hotel room? I don't know. But have you heard these stories about the women in Dubai who they end up murdered?
So I've heard stuff about that, and I think it's quite a hard one, because I remember back in the day there used to be texts going around being like, there's parties going on, if you go to them. It would be like parties with rich men, but it'd be like they wanted naked waitresses and like people to go. So if you were kind of on like the party scene, they'd be like, well, if you want to make like 50k, go to Dubai, do like a topless whatever. I never went, but I know people that went and they were like, it's fine. But there was also something about like, there would be some kind of like raffle before you even left a room, so you'd know if a guy wanted to sleep with you. It was like, you would know beforehand to say yes or no. It wouldn't just be put on you, but it would be like, you would know you were getting paid for going to the party, and then you would decide kind of beforehand. But I wonder how much choice you actually got.
That's how I feel. It's like, if you show up and you're like, well, actually, that's not my thing. Are you looked down upon? Are you never invited to another party?
You would have known what it was about. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
Like, it was very clear from like the messages what it was about.
Can you say no?
I think you could turn down the one-on-one meetings, but I don't think you could turn down, like, you were there to go to the parties.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay. But like, when I talk about working in that dungeon in New York, I could say no to any session and there was zero consequence. I wonder about things like this. Because like, be topless for $50,000? Fuck yes. It's about the pressure. If I was feeling it in the moment, sure. But it's like, am I going to be feeling it in the moment? Am I going to be? I don't do well with things I'm not attracted to. Yeah. If it felt like gross in any way, I couldn't do it.
You know what I remembered actually? There was this party. I don't even know if they ever organized it, but they were basically going to pay like a bunch of like porn stars or something, or escorts. And they were going to do like a full week in a mansion, but it was going to be like free use.
Whoa.
So I can't remember exactly what the girls were getting paid. It wasn't a lot. Like for a full week, I think it was maybe like 10k or something, which
my gosh,
like is a lot for a week, but not for like free use everything. Like,
oh no, I don't even think that's a lot for a week. That's
if you were just going there to chill, you know, like.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm like, but we're talking only going to chill.
Yeah, this guy was like, oh yeah, we're gonna have like sex parties every night, like free use. All the guys are gonna pay like this much to get in, whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, that's an unfair balance of.
He was a yacht salesman, which I don't know if that speaks in his character. I know a lot of strange people though. I know a lot of strange nightlife people, a lot of very problematic people, I would guess.
And there's nothing wrong with anything we're describing. It's sort of the nuance of certain people who take advantage or are a little too coercing people into what they're looking for. It's like, don't try too hard. Let people be enthusiastic about this or not. And then leave them alone.
Yeah, there was this guy as well. Did I tell you about him? Just unlocked this. It was this weird guy off Raya, and I was trying to make more friends. So I was like, right, fine, we'll go. And we went to this like restaurant, and I had a couple drinks before he arrived, but then we had a couple together. And he was like, oh yeah, like let me go and cover it. And I was staying for another drink, and I expected to pay for my own one after. He didn't pay for like anything while I'd sat with him. He paid for his own and left. But I was like, imagine if I had walked out there thinking, you know what, I've paid for everything. Because normally guys for me would have paid for the drink that I was drinking as well. Like, it wouldn't even have been a question. It would have been like everything would have been covered.
Wait,
so not
he didn't
that. Yeah, so I had
he pay for his own drinks?
paid for his own drinks, but not the
Okay.
ones that we had ordered together. Because I
Oh
would have
my
been fine
God.
paying for the ones before he came and the one like I was drinking when he left. But I think the ones when we were together, he should have paid. He actually was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to move into my friend's house because it'll be free," and I was like, "You're like 35, mate."
I also love that you met this person on Raya.
I always meet strange people on Raya. I love it. It's actually brilliant.
I've met strange people on Raya too. It's the one dating app that I paid for because you can only use it if you pay for it. I don't even have it on my phone anymore. Like, I'm still paid, but I was just like, I
Yeah.
can't do this anymore.
I keep it because every so often I decide to go on it and actually like go on dates and stuff with people because it is just hilarious. You can't just cancel it and start it again because you get kicked off.
Yes, I know. But I have mine till December and I'm like, I'm good for now. I'm on like 10. Are you on any others or is Raya your
I'm
one?
banned on Tinder. I'm banned on Hinge. I'm banned on everything.
Okay, what did you do to get banned on Hinge? Tinder's strict, but Hinge?
Somebody reported me for being a catfish. And to be fair, I was like, whatever. I could probably get it back if I ID verified, but I was like, it's not that deep.
Okay, that makes kind of more sense, but you're not a catfish. You could have, yes, you could have ID verified. This is the thing though. People, especially men, will go after you and get vindictive. I find that in social media. I don't DM men anymore because I'm like, I can't reject you and have you go mass report my entire content block.
I get this. I try and be chill now with the trolls. You never know who's going to report something.
That's why I just don't talk to any of them. But I understand our business models are different. When's the first time you put somebody in chastity? Do you remember?
That's a good question. Maybe like 2016.
Okay. So 9 years
2017?
ago.
Yeah.
But you don't remember the person or anything, just the time frame.
Yeah, because I had a few. Well, that was basically when I'd started doing more sessions and stuff.
Yeah.
Because before that, it was more like just on the kink scene, doing things like personally. And then I'd started doing like sessions with people. Yeah, it would have been around then. But I thought it was really weird. I'm sure we spoke about this before, that to start with, I was like, oh, that's weird. Why would somebody want that?
It's a fair question, right? Like I have those things too. I was just talking to someone earlier today about how when you're kinky, sometimes it's really hard to get out of your own head about what kink means to everybody else because you're like, oh, it can only be the thing that I think about. Even though we have empathy and we understand, and obviously we have both done stuff for other people. We're like, oh, tell me your fantasy. I can get down with that. Like, let's jump in. And then sometimes I discover new fantasies based on that I'm like, well, where did this come from?
I think the chastity thing for me is I never understood more of like the longing behind it or the reason people wanted it. It was just kind of a like, oh, can I put this cage on for half an hour? And it was kind of a funny thing. You know, it was never like anything behind it. Or people would be like, oh, lock me up. And then they would instantly take it off. And I'm like, what was the point in that?
Okay, that's fair. Does anyone ever send you their key?
They have done in the past, but the Royal Mail is not predictable. So I don't.
You don't accept the keys anymore.
So I'm thinking about getting an office space that I can get them delivered to. I think that's probably a safer option than them being in my house. If I was like put them in a full-size envelope with like a bit of card inside, you know, and it goes to like a PO box, so I don't want them coming to my house.
Yeah.
But I want to have somewhere that I can go, that I can sort them, that I can know where everyone's is, have them in date order, them all filed. So there's a possibility that at some point I will do something. But yeah, the issue is that if they go missing, then they've gone missing.
Hopefully they have a spare, but that defeats the purpose of the entire thing.
Well, that's my thing with virtual chastity. I would rather just do it online because it's so much easier for cleaning. You know, we can put them in a timed lockbox for 24 hours at a time. We can do all sorts of things. We can just trust you. I don't know why people are so against being trusted.
Is it because of the lack of consequence?
It could be, but then a lot of people delete their accounts and run away because they're scared that they've taken the cage off, you know?
That drives me insane. It's like all or nothing and there's no in between. I recently had a slave ghost me and I was very upset about the entire situation because I'm like, I'm so flexible. Had he just spoken to me and said, hey, I'm feeling XYZ type of way, but don't fucking ghost me.
I tell them, I give them a chat at the start and they still do it.
We started well, it started strong, but I guess it's for the best.
Yeah, they'll probably come back if you'll have them.
I'm not a second chance person because I don't want to go through it a second time, a ghosting. I'm not calm like that. You seem very calm and like, okay.
But also when you're online, you kind of need to remember it's different if you're in real life, but for me, I'm just a
Yes.
fantasy, so I'm not even a real person half the time. Some of them don't even think of me as having like a life outside of whatever. They're
That's
just
true.
like,
This
you
was in real
exist
life.
as soon as I open the computer.
That's nice because you can walk away from it so easily then too.
Well, I can't on my end because I've constantly got to be honest.
But do you ever just take a day off where you're like, I don't exist to you anymore?
Sometimes.
Or are you working
Then you get
7
angry.
days?
You come back and there's 500 question marks.
See, this is the freedom or lack thereof that I cannot handle. Just hearing that makes me think I need a day at the spa.
I think as well, like, so the social media content's not too bad. Content creation, not too bad. I have an editor, you know, like, smash them out, fine. You can get admin assistants. But actually speaking to everyone and then me being like, you know, I do sleep. I don't sleep a lot, but I do sleep.
I know, you need some time.
You know, like, maybe I want to go on holiday and I'm flying and whatever. I still work on holiday. People tell me off for it. But
I also get it. If you're not, people will like lose their shit a little bit.
But I think one of the issues is with like fan sites especially, you can run it as in you're just getting fans on there and just posting content, but they're there to talk to you. So you kind of need to talk to them. And it's not that I mind it, but I do always say sometimes I'm very grumpy. And I'm like, depending who's spoken to me already that day, remember that how you treat me might impact someone else's experience.
Ooh, I
You know?
like that.
Yeah, it could be social media, it could be on the fan site, but if you're being annoying and the next person just asks a silly question, they might get shouted at, you know?
Yeah, I like the accountability of that. Like, how you treat me could affect somebody else's experience. I want that like embroidered on a pillow or something.
I think it actually kind of goes a bit deeper for them as well, rather than it just being about, oh, she's mad at me. It's somebody else's time that they're ruining.
You being mad at them is probably a turn on.
I try not to get mad at people. I don't always succeed.
For free. Yeah. I try to just be friendly and bubbly all the time. So I press the block button a lot. But I'm not like live streaming or anything like that. I'm just, if I see a question come in, if I see a comment, I'm like,
not this one.
okay, I have not accessed any of your clips. Are they fully nude or are you always clothed? Does it matter?
Personally, so this is always a funny one because some people are really against nudity and femdom, and I'm not. I'm all for it. I just personally don't do it because I don't think men deserve it. You know, it's
that
like,
answer.
I love people getting naked. I love the gooning. I love it. But also, I don't do it because it's like I'm withholding something they want.
And that puts them in their place.
Yeah, but CFNM is such a big clothed female, nude male.
Yeah.
Such a big thing as well. And if they're into chastity and they're a cuck or they're a loser, you know, it's all kind of that whole...
That's the moment.
Yeah, like chastity as well, like you're kind of denying yourself something. So I try and make it so they're more thinking about their actual desires rather than just seeing something. And one of the reasons that I don't always wear latex and stuff is because I'm like, you should really be thinking about why you want to submit and not just submitting to latex. I'm not just a fantasy, I'm the person, so why are you submitting to me? And if I'm in pajamas, you're submitting to me.
You always push people to go a little bit deeper, which I think is not always the case with people who are trying to sell clips, who are streaming.
Yeah. I'd make a bit more money if I was just more like mainstream, but I think the people who get it.
Yeah.
And because I'm into it in real life as well, it makes a difference. And there's also nothing wrong with just doing it for money.
Do you believe these people on TikTok and social media who are like, I'm a Femdom, I make $3,000 from randomers, and they're trying to teach other people how to do it?
I know who you mean, and I don't like her on a very personal level. I send her videos to my friends and we laugh. So I'm not saying that she hasn't made money, because you can make money.
But
like, you could easily make like 10k a day, you know, like not easily, but you know, if you put the time in, the effort in, you get to know the people, you get somebody who's rich. It's not saying that you can't, but to sell that to somebody and be like, you know, all you have to do is go online.
bullshit.
Yeah. And she's like, I just bought a new house.
Yeah.
But anyway, she was like, I've just bought a new house from selling my course about Femdom. And I was like, exactly, from selling your course.
Which is just so predatory. It doesn't speak to the reality of how much work you need to put in and how much you actually have to care about the people you are working with or paying you. I don't know how to put it.
One, because it's like, it normally comes with another fetish. So it's pretty rare to get a sub who just wants to send. And if they do just want to send, they want to send because it's you. They're not just there giving out like money. There's a reason they're giving you money.
You put it perfectly. It usually is with something else, and it's work. It's work with a great paycheck, but it's still work. And I feel like it's sold as this like, oh, you can just find men. Like there's this whole barn of men willing to send you money for no reason.
You're probably just going to get time wasters, and especially like the newbies who come in and they're just begging in comments, you know, like there's these bait tweets. It's like, I'm going to pay somebody today, and you get like 100 people replying being like, me. They're not going to pay you because they can smell the desperation. Also, they were never going to pay you. Like,
that's
people tweeting that are never going to pay you, but...
It's really funny, though, because I'm like, this could be a whole reality show of these groups of people, like these groups of people thinking that they're going to get paid, these groups of people lying, pretending they're about to pay.
But yeah,
let's
like,
just send them all to an island.
And they don't want to do it.
No, I know, because they probably haven't done the work you're describing of going a little bit deeper and scratching below the surface to think like, why is this something I want?
It's not even that though. There'll be doms who are like newer and they're kind of going, okay, like how do I build a following? And I'm like, you have to post consistently. And like, oh, well, I didn't upload on my fan site for 2 weeks and I lost all my subscribers. And I'm like, what does consistency mean? Can we see why there might be a problem with this? I sound like such a bitch when I say stuff like that.
No, that's like the least bitchy thing you've said. No, none of that is like...
I think when you say it to somebody, though, they can take it the wrong way and they can be a bit like your tone or whatever, but it's not even that. It's just, I'm telling you, fact. Do it or don't, and don't complain. That's what we all have to do.
If you created a course on content creation and spoke to people like that, I would pay for that type of doming, do you see why there might be a problem here? Like,
do you think there might be an issue if you say that you're going to post and then you don't? Because I also speak to myself like that. Like, I'll be sitting there not wanting to film and I'll be like, stop being such a wet blanket. That's normally the insult that gets me. Wet blanket's not used very often. So I feel like that.
That would not agitate me. I would probably just tell myself.
Do you want to be like the other losers who don't post content?
I would bully myself though. I'd be like, you are not enough until you make content. And then that would probably activate me.
Or I'll be like, you're just being lazy right now. You are being so lazy. You're just sitting there and you could be making money and you're sitting there.
Oh, shit.
And then I'll go do the thing.
I'm like, I'm about to go do the thing now. I'm like, okay. You're right. I have unhelpful negative talk. Telling me to like, go lose weight, when really my negative talk needs to be like, go make a fucking video and make some money.
Exactly. Suck it up.
Yeah.
Suck it up, bitch. Honestly, the 5 videos that you posted on Instagram this year ain't gonna get you far on promo, are they?
I love this.
My ideal would be one video and it's just me being mean to you and telling you to suck the fuck up. Be like, suck it up. Come on, do it. You're pathetic today. You're here. The algorithm brings me losers. And you are here, so what do you think you are? You are a loser. Do you want to be not a loser? Good. You're going to drink your water, you're going to have your meals, and you're going to go outside and you're going to stop being pathetic. And then I'm like, you're welcome.
This explains it, Lara. The algorithm didn't bring me there because I didn't need that messaging or it didn't know, because I'm putting up a good front of having it together.
Now you know you just need a full-length video like that.
Well, yeah, I do. And I was going to say, this is like the clip I would pay for. I would like it geared towards me making content, writing emails, and doing my job.
Okay, so shall I do like an admin one, which is like, get your computer open.
Yes.
Where's your to-do list? Come on. Where is it?
It's here somewhere.
Is it? Why is it not open? What's it going to do if it's closed? What's it going to do?
I don't know. Oh my God, you're so scary. You're right. I'll keep it open on my desk. Oh my God, who are you right now?
I'll just be like, why? Why are you doing that? Why is it not done? You've had enough time.
I have. I know. Oh my God, I have had enough time.
To do it today. Like,
I don't know. Oh my God, this is fun. I mean, not really, but like, I'm like, do I need a dom? Maybe
you just need like a me that you can just play like every time you have a task.
A mistress. I'll just hold this clip and remind myself of it forever. Lara, you went from being someone for men who want chastity to now being the every person dom for me on this podcast today.
Yeah, I'll happily. Do you know how men sometimes speak to you and they're like, so why is that? Why is it not done?
Yes.
Like that kind of like an old boss sort of like vibe. That's what I try and channel. Do you know when you're in a meeting and like, well, why is that not being delivered on time?
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. That's a good thing to channel.
I think it depends who as well, because I'm quite bad for doing this. I forget that I'm not talking to a sub, because I do talk to so many subs and I stream so often. So sometimes I'll be talking to a friend and I'll have the attitude and I'm like, my voice is like this, but this is not. Let me restart.
Do your friends get offended or do they know what you do? And they're like, okay, put Lara away.
But I have had it before. Yeah, there was somebody who was like, you need to watch your tone sometimes because sometimes you're really horrible. And I was like, no, I was meaning to be horrible. That one, if you couldn't tell, was me being horrible to you.
This is what I need. You're my first repeat guest, and I think I couldn't have asked for a better one.
See, it's because I'm the best.
Well, I knew this in the beginning, too.
It's difficult being as good.
I wouldn't know. That's going to be on my phone. What would Lara do?
I think part of it is having like a slightly obnoxious attitude and just...
I want that. I want to be slightly obnoxious. I have trouble embodying it full time.
You just have to think you're better than everyone else, because then you will be, because
people pick up on the energy.
Do you see this computing in my head? I'm like, okay, I'm going to try that for a week.
If you're in a room full of people and you just think you're the best one, like, you will be the best one.
Now that's the next piece of content. I need something heartwarming like that. Like,
shall I just do life advice and give really nice tips?
Yeah.
And then chat with people.
That would be very helpful, I think, to a lot of people. Like, we're opening up your market here.
I do a lot of that, though, because I do, like, soft domination, so it's not all mean. It's sort of, like, encouragement and just telling people, like, sometimes you just need told to do something.
I know, but I don't feel like that's any of your content that you put out on social media.
I think my long-form stuff in my streams, it's very clear.
Yes.
And then my short form is just to get attention.
So, like, I know that from talking to you, though, that is the type of person you are, that you do have that soft dom stuff. I'm of the TikTok generation now. I just need 30-second clips of what I need to hear. And that's what's wrong with the world, actually.
That's what I find. Like, people who watch full YouTube videos and stuff tend to be, like, more into me as a person, and they want to, like, explore stuff. And people who are just like, that's a hot outfit, do you have photos? And then they're gone. I'm like, okay, cool.
So you get more from the YouTube crowd?
Yeah, or people who've watched streams. Probably people who listen to podcasts and stuff. They get more into it, they spend more time listening to you.
Yeah.
And they kind of have an idea who you are before they come to you.
All right. On that note, I appreciate you coming on my podcast and gracing us all with your presence. Go check out Larah Sky of the many websites we've mentioned, larahsky.vip, larahsky.com.co.uk, all of the above. Check her out.
Might also be other ones that you've not found yet.
I love a little tease.
Maybe something for October.
Now we'll have you back on in September to prepare for October to get us all. All right, we already have your next appearance date. Thanks, Lara. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with anyone who might find it interesting. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover in future episodes, feel free to reach out. Email info@thekinkconsultant.com. Until next time, keep on kinking on.